What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are doing a head gasket. So, the last time we talked, I can't remember what happened, what we were doing. I think it might have been the dyno spot, but so I haven't had a lot of footage of me running and doing anything with the car, so I went out to make a video, and what happened was when I was putting this engine together, I was trying to actually save a few dollars here and there, and I went with this one source for head bolts, and let me just say it was a set of eBay head bolts. I should have used better judgment, and I am totally regretting it. So I ran into an issue where I think I stretched a head bolt. So right down here where the block, I'm going to try to get you in there, where the block and the head actually come together, it blew out. There is boost getting into, there's boosts getting into the water jacket, and it is blowing into the radiator and making the radiator blow out up through. There's no coolant getting into the actual oil itself, and there is no water getting into the oil. So I'm kind of at a loss. I think that's why I'm thinking it's kind of a head bolt stretch issue, or maybe one backed out, it got loose or something. I do remember when I was putting these in, I never put the video up, and I made some content of it, but it really wasn't like, I couldn't make good content with it. So I ran into this issue. I used a Felpro head gasket. From what I understand, not a good idea with boosted applications. I didn't know that. I had had the gasket for a long time sitting around. I just figured I'd just use it because I had it. I'm going to be using a Honda OEM gasket, which is what everybody recommends, and I am going to be going with, and I will show you, I am going to be going with some ARP head studs, and they're right here, and I will show you more of that when we get to it. So this is going to be a little bit of a maybe 15-20 minute video. I'm going to try to keep it under 20 minutes. I'm going to do a little more hands-on how to do this. The idea I'm going to do today is going to be, I'm going to pull the manifolds with the head and bring it straight up. Normally, if this was like a stock manifold, I would just leave the intake manifold in here, but since this intake manifold is so large, it's not that easy just to slide it out of the way. So that's pretty straightforward and simple. You know, we just are going to disconnect the fuel rail, we're going to uncap the injectors, and then we are going to just disconnect all the electrical connections on there. This, I have to get up, we have to get the power steering off, we have to get this dump pipe off, obviously, for the wastegate, which somehow has coolant on it. Interesting. Alright, so that has to come off. The timing belt has to come off, and then we're going to have to retime the engine. So what I'm going to do is when I jack the car up, I'm going to set the engine at top dead center. So that way when we go to time it and everything, it'll just be that much easier when I'm done. We got to disconnect this fuel return, the line return, the air intake temperature sensor, the map sensor, get this intercooler piping off of here, and disconnect the fuel. And then there's I'm going to have to pull this coolant line off of the intake manifold too. And then just, unplug the distributor cap and get this top radiator hose after we drained everything. And yeah, that's really not that big of a deal. It'll come right off. The real trick is going to be having just, all the stuff that comes along with, we've got to get the downpipe off, which there's one bolt down on the downpipe that's a pain in the butt. Otherwise, it's not that hard. Intercooler piping, and then the oil return, but I'm going to be doing some stuff with the oil return while this is off. And I'm also going to be switching out my exhaust manifold gasket because the one that's on here, I'm not really happy with it. I'm just I feel it's a time bomb. It's a composite gasket. It's going to be ready to blow. So I'm going to be switching that up with a metal gasket, and I'm going to spray it down with some copper spray. And then that's about it. And we're going to hook it all back up, and hopefully we won't have any more issues, and we can go out and be boosting again. So without further ado, let's jump into this. Alright everybody, this is where we are so far. So I've got the AC compressor out. I've got the power steering pump out. Got the dump pipe for the wastegate off. And now I am working on the downpipe itself. I'll come down here. And I've got this charge pipe out of the way right fast. And then I've got the oil return from the turbo disconnected. So I am about to start getting at the downpipe, which is 5 bolts. There's that one bottom bolt, which is, it's a pain in the butt, but once it's out, it's smooth sailing from there. And then back here, we have the 2 bolts holding on to the test pipe. They come off, downpipe's off. And then we are going to slip the turbo off. Once we slip the turbo off, we're going to start working on the top of everything. And then I will crack this valve cover and we will pop this head off and go from there. Alright guys, so here we are. We're back at it. We are a couple steps in. Now we are just working on the top of the engine. If you see, I've got the downpipe out. Downpipe is out. And now we are going to start unbuttoning all this stuff on the top. I mean, as far as electrical, fuel lines, return, just a couple electrical buttons and stuff. Brake booster, you know, distributor, water temp sensor, and then disconnect a couple more coolant lines. I'm going to drain this radiator. And yeah, the turbo's still in for right now. I'm going to drop that in a second. I'm going to need a second pair. I'm going to need another set of hands to help me with that. Or I was thinking maybe take it out with the mount or the head while it's coming up, but that might be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So I'll figure it out and I'll let you know. Alright, for all your viewing pleasure, low-key AF, doing backflips. Oh! Oh! Oh snap! Yeah! Alright guys, so we are right now about 2 hours into where we are. We've got everything off, we've got everything disconnected, we've got all electrical connections disconnected and everything like that. Everything's done, downpipe is off, turbo's disconnected. And look at that, I blew this out and put it in and all the copper gasket maker came off. So I guess I'm going to have to let it dry up next time before I put it in. Oh well, whatever. It wasn't leaking, so I'm not that worried about it. So, we're going to do here, the engine is at top dead center. I'm going to make a mark on the timing belt. And we're going to do this the lazy way. And we're going to see if we can get away with it. I want to make a mark on the timing belt with a silver Sharpie. Oops. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Alright, made some marks on the timing belt. Now let's see if we can slide this sucker off. And boom, just like that. Slid the timing belt off. Now hopefully we'll be able to wiggle everything out of here with the intake manifold on. And let's get to it and see what we can get into. Alright ladies and gentlemen, so here we are, we're right here. We took the head off. Okay. And then we got the new head gasket in. The ARP studs are in. We're about to crack these down. I'm going to try and make a little bit of footage on that. But if anybody really wants to know, the torquing sequence is going to be 15, 30, and then 60 foot-pounds. We're going to go to 65 foot-pounds just because we're running boost. And I'll come back when I see that. Well guys, here we are. Head's back on, timing belt's on. Managed to slip the timing belt back on, so we're going to find out real soon whether or not the spider on there. Find out whether or not the timing skipped a tooth. I hope it didn't. Nothing moved, so it shouldn't have. Power steering bump. Power steering is on. AC is on. Dump toe is on. Got to plug in our vacuum lines for our boost solenoid. And I just put this piece of zip tie on this one because that one lets me know that's the top. Alrighty, those are back on. All vacuum lines are back on up here. Everything's tight. This is all back together. So let's get to draining this oil and then we can come back for first start.
Yeah, take one.
Alright, here we go. First try to start, making sure the timing's on.
Nope, won't start.
Shut the fuck up. Running. See, that's what I was talking about. Did that before. And then it's fine. I think it's something to do with the IEC. Ew. Timing sounds good. What does air fuels look like?
11.5. Probably ain't warm enough to read yet.
Huh? Well, for cold start. Alright, so we're just gonna bleed this coolant out. Keep an eye out for leaks. And job well done. Alright guys, so we're out here on the test drive. Everything seems to be running alright. I just hit about 16, 17 PSI in third gear. Had to get out of it because it's like rush hour traffic. This is going to be the outro of the video. I appreciate you watching. Just like always, please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Until the next one, peace.